Welcome to the Dev Banner. This is Eric. In this how-to video, I want to talk about one of Go's standard libraries called AST, and what it does, what Go uses it for, what the programming language uses it for, is it parses a file and kind of describes all the keywords and all the things that file, and it kind of structures it into an abstract syntax tree. And I know there's other languages that do this, but this is Go's implementation. They use it with compiling. They use it, I believe VS Code uses it to help, show you errors. So when the curly braces don't add up or something like that, you'll get that message. And the way they've implemented it makes all of that pretty quick, and it's using it. So the AST is the main package. We're going to be using this parser library and also the tokens. And so let me go into tokens really quick and just kind of show you a list of, basically these are the const keywords that Go uses and assigns it. So like this add assign, if it sees add assign, then it uses this token called add assign. And so you'll see parentheses and left brackets and right brackets and all sorts. And so some of these keywords like func, it when it sees the word func, it replaces it with this token, and there's some special stuff around that. So, and we'll go over that, but we'll be focusing on var and import through this example that I wrote. So we're going to take this example.go, for instance, and we're going to add to it. So I've been working on kind of build some boilerplate code, and it's kind of dynamic depending on what you want and how you want to set it up without digging way into those weeds. I was doing a different kind of technology, and I'm like, since then, because I'm rewriting this app, I thought, man, maybe I can use this AST, and I wrote a few functions and tried it out, and I'm like, wow, this thing works. So we'll go over those functions, but we're going to be adding to this depending on and this might never be a user case you might use, but I needed to use it, and I use it, and I parsed, you can go grab all the comments, for instance, out of all your files and look at them and see if there's anything, if you want to find something. So with that, here's this tutorial, and I have some helper functions. So I have this func AST and this token AST, and it solves my problems because those are kind of the only ones I really wanted to look at and find in any file. And so, as it says, func AST will take a function name and within a file, and then the start is, do I want to find, basically I'm just looking for the position. It's not doing anything else other than going through this file, looking for that function and giving the position. But the position will be based on the start. If its start is true, then it's going to be at the start right after the curly brace. If it's false, then it's going to be down here at the end of the curly brace, but right before it. So it stays within the block. And so we're using that parser, like I told you, we're using that parser. We parse it, we go through, and we use the AST inspect method, and it takes an AST node, which through interfaces, an AST file fulfills that node, and it takes an inline function. Well, in this case, it takes a function, and we're just doing an inline. And if you send back a false, then it stops the parsing. So what it does is goes through each node that is found, that is parsed, and it's a tree. And so then you can, if a function, this func declare knows how to knows where the beginning and end is of its block, those curly braces. And position is the integer, is actual position. So just know that even if you have a tab, there's 4 of them there because those are spaces, because in a file, it's really not a tab. They're just spaces. At least if you do soft tabs, which I think most people do that. Hard tab, it would be 1 character. But in the case of how I do soft tabs, that's a good point. I do soft tabs, so those are really 4 spaces. Anyway, so if I find my func name, then I declare it, or I set it. And then if I didn't find it, then I go ahead and return. And then this whole thing is basically based on the start. It's true or false, where that offset is and where that position is. So, and then I return it. And then at that point, I can use that to build. So save file, takes that position, takes the same file name, and then takes a string. And then I just concat them together and then send them back, save them back out the file. So pretty straightforward. So we're going to walk through this, and let's go ahead and run this. All I'm doing is printing, and I've done the work. So I called token AST because I'm trying to put it in import, and I'm putting the math package, and then I'm saving it. And then this little check file is basically just saying that's what prints this out, and you press enter. And before we do that, though, I kind of wanted to show that it did add it. And I said false, so it added at the end of the import. And so then if I press enter again, the next thing it's going to add is a variable. So at line 9, between line 9 and 10, it's going to add a POW, float 64. And then we're going to add into main to use that POW variable plus the math. And you'll see that the squiggly line, because it's like, you're not using it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and press enter again. And I added those 2 lines, and basically I added them with, tab to make sure that it got over once, a new line plus a tab to make sure, it gets formatted correctly and it doesn't look weird. And then the last one is I'm just going to add to the start of that function, just another print line at the top. So my last is I'm just printing it out, the nodes, just going through the file and printing them out with a %+v. And that's kind of what they looks like. That's kind of what the tree looks like. Now, I had a bunch of just nils. They gave me some nodes that were nil. And if you look at what I'm doing, I'm just saying, hey, if n is nil, then don't print it. Keep going. And so you'll see like some of these things, like there's the imports. These are just kind of the printing out of those different types, AST types. So that's the AST package. I don't know if you'll ever use it, but like I said, I've used it a couple of times. I used it on another project that I was reading comments and just parsing them and building some stuff from the comments, and it worked really well in that case. And I'm not using that code, but it seems like it's a pretty neat package. And once again, the Go people built it to help them with compiling and parsing and make sure everything looks so great, is okay from a syntax standpoint. So hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.
Please subscribe to the channel and make sure notifications are turned on.